This is the first time you're exhibiting at the security event. Firstly, why the security event, and why now in ISM's development as a business? Obviously, there's lots of interesting things to talk about, but what are you hoping to be able to show everyone in September?
We're going through a period of transition. Ian came into the business a couple of years ago, understanding that there's a rock solid platform in Genesis, but there's a much bigger vision that we have for what we can do with the product. And so by moving forward with this and changing the culture of the business, changing how we work with end users, how we work with integrators, the timing was perfect and it was the right show. As I said earlier, you've been disruptive with what you did. Your vision was disruptive, and you unseated the industry leaders with regards to exhibitions at the time. And it's a perfect synergy for us to come to market and say, this is who we are. BeamUP will be with us. And again, it's just the first opportunity for us to show a wider audience what it is that we are able to do today, but also where we're going, and for us to understand more about where customers want to be taken.
Yeah, it's interesting you mentioned culture. I mean, culture is a huge part in our journey as a business as 19. Ian, how would you say the culture has changed over the time that you've been with ISM, and where are you trying to drive that culture to be?
Well, innovation comes about in for a number of different reasons, and technology has always driven back into our sector. We've been very good at always spotting the technology that's going to benefit the industry and provide solutions previously where problems couldn't be solved. And one of the things we've very focused on, it's one thing to understand the value sets to security, which we're all very well versed on, but equally we have to work with customers to understand the problems that they have that currently can't be solved, but we have available to us with our technology partnership with BeamUP and our platform, the ability to give them a technical solution. And that culture is now, instead of previously where somebody invented something and then put it in front of customers, and that's what happened with things like access control and various other technologies. What we're doing is we're working with customers to look at the Internet of Things and all of the available measurement devices that are appearing in the world, whether it be how a mobile phone moves, to cameras, to access control, to how the queues manage or how meeting rooms are managed. We're looking to bring that all together. And the only way we can understand fully what the customers need is to be a part of their development path, if you like. So we're engaging with customers much in the old style of the skunk works that developed to shortcut the delivery of technology to governments during wartime. It's to allow us to deliver a solution that the customers had a say in the evolution of it prior to then embracing it and adapting it into their world. So that allows us to arrive with a customer developed solution. So that's a change in the ISM culture. And that's something that we're very engaged now with customers to make sure we deliver something at the point of launch that they already know and expect and anticipate. So we're literally selling forward solutions.
Yeah. Again, very similar to the ethos of the security event. We set that up. It was designed by the industry with the founding partners for the industry. And as you say, by the time you get to that market stage, it is a client-developed solution for a need, which is always the strongest way.
And it takes the risk out of the investment of time because, when you get there, it's been a partnership and the best solutions always come out of a very collaborative partnership. So therefore, we're working very closely, as Alan said, and with BeamUP with our partners, which are the end users, to make sure we've got a solution that is fit for purpose and again, is current by the time they adopt it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's important also, from our point of view, Ian was an integrator and a very successful business. In Beacon Security, I spent the last 15 years, 18 years in manufacturing and on an EMEA level. So we understand within our unit the requirement that every stakeholder has in the delivery of a project. And I think that's extremely important. And indeed, Stephane, you have an integration. You're an integrator in Canada, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And LE manufacturing with the time at Tyco as well as this startup career.
I think, we're always talking about disruptive technology and, but I think to your point before, I think there's a new type of disruption in the industry where traditionally in this industry, and I've been in this industry for over 30 years, it's about, every company is building product and selling it. And they don't really cooperate. They may let their different product talk to each other, but companies do not cooperate. And I think the culture what we talked about before about this is a partnership to build product together, not to just let the product talk to each other because the end user want them. And you see it around other industries, it's happening, including companies like Google and Facebook. They all partner with other companies, which, as far as I know, most of the company, it's not happening in this industry. So I think this is a very refreshing way that happening in our industry where you see this kind of partnership. It's not just, I'm building a product and I'm going to sell it. You do whatever you want. And this is a major disruptive to this industry, in my opinion, again, beyond the product and technology.
I don't remember who said it to me, but somebody suggested we're building an ecosystem of solutions.
Yeah.
And I think that sums it up perfectly.
Nice. Yeah, absolutely. Very good. And we sort of hark back on that. Everyone's been in the industry for a very long time, and in some ways, over the even in my time in the industry has changed to almost an unrecognisable place. But in others, it's remained remarkably static. And I think, probably to your point, that the way that those integrations happen, it's my product will now talk to your product, but it's that collaboration element at the heart and the culture of business is something that still isn't there. And it's really interesting to see this approach and actually the sum of the parts creating a much stronger solution for an end customer. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Great. I suppose taking this a step further, where do you see your collaboration in the next 2 to 3 years? How far can this technology go?
Well, it's actually quite limitless because further the development of the intelligence-based environment is always going to move, and it's going to become more powerful, and because it's going to move from on-premise to cloud, it opens up so much more analytics and stronger analytics. And that's where BeamUP comes in, because they bring that into our world. We basically are the bridge, if you like, between all of the systems, and then we will work with BeamUP, and all of the AI and all of the rules will be developed. But again, as the cloud opens up and people have bigger and bigger journals, that can then allow them to derive rules and knowledge and make decisions and automate decision making as well, depending on what their environment is, because they'll be able to look at the history in real time and understand what that data contextually meant. And that's where Stephane comes in, because he talks about data structure and gathering the data that allows the rules and the analytics to be developed. And that's where, partnering up with a technology company like that, that's not available to anybody generally in the security piece at this point in time. And that's where I believe that we've got a market lead in where we are. And equally the clients we talk to, they are very, very willing to work and engage with us, because they recognise the need for this, but equally they've got nothing else on the horizon that's showing them there's a path here to the end of this journey, which is going to allow them to be able to create, take security solutions which are hard to fight for budget. The security solution is commoditized in the world now. Nobody looks at a security system and pays a lot of money for it. They judge it on, you get 5 companies in and you pick the lowest price because the trust is in those commoditized companies, because they're not adding value outside of rules by exception, multiple systems. But then when you actually say to somebody, look, we can improve your customer experience because we can take information and content off these subsystems that were for security only, and using BeamUp's AI, we can then give you business intelligence that's going to improve the customer experience. It's going to maximize the efficiency of your workspace as you downsize it to meet the change in the office space in COVID. That's outside of the security piece, and that's now got business interest and intelligence to people on the board, because it's going to provide significant efficiencies and cost savings, or it's going to improve and increase revenue off the floor. That's not available, and nobody else in the security piece is focusing on providing business advice and business intelligence out of the devices that are already on the floor to deliver security, integrity and compliance to normal compliance matters. So it's very exciting, because all of a sudden our value is not just based on we need this security system to protect the employees, the fabric of the building, the business rules, and also to prove compliance to a regulatory body. It's a case of this solution provides us much more intelligence into our business that allows us to improve the performance of our business, both to the customer and also to ultimately to the shareholders. So now it's got a business case to put the system in and not a security rules case to put the system in.